Hello and welcome to the post-day show presented by the IDFC First Bank. And this was a day which was dominated thoroughly by Sri Lanka spinners. At the start, when India started, they only had lost 2 wickets. By the end of the day, the final score is 460 for 9. 7 wickets were lost inside 2 sessions. A batting collapse, you would say, on conditions which has offered something for the spinners, and Sri Lankan spinners made most of it. Prabhat Jaisuriya, 4 wickets. Kesharan Nuwanta on his debut, 3 wickets. But the short selection of some of the batters have once again come into the question, as spin has once again troubled India in subcontinent, and this is once again has been a talking point. We will discuss everything in detail, but Devashish, how would you sum up the entire day?
I think it is even still. I think if you ask me, 288 for 2 on day one, and then to be finishing the day on 460. I think 163 runs and 7 wickets, losing 7 wickets. I think Sri Lankan spinners has bounced back, and that gave them a slender of hope. Obviously, I won't say that they still have a mountain to climb, because India are definitely on top here, 460. But I would have hoped, why don't you declare with at least 5 more overs to go? You should have given the declaration. See, it doesn't matter if it is 450 or if it's 470. You should have ideally the other batting. Obviously, I'm not disrespecting Kuldeep, but ideally you should have taken the new ball. And what happened? Had you picked 1 wicket of Sri Lanka, that would have put enormous psychological pressure on the middle order batters. But nevertheless, 460 for 9. I am seeing a declaration in start of day 3.
Start of day 3, obviously this declaration has to come. Otherwise, it could be India seeing how much Prasidh Krishna and Kuldeep Yadav can add to the final total, and then obviously they will come up with the ball. But Sri Lanka, credit to Sri Lanka, the way the spinners bowled. Prabhat Jaisuriya, who has taken most wickets at this venue, once again, once again coming to its own. And then it was actually started by Kesharan Nuwanta, the debutant, with the new ball, first getting the wicket of Rishabh Pant, then the wicket of well set KL Rahul, who continued to bat but again got out. We discussed that soft dismissal, and then there were a few good innings as well. Like Manav Sudhar played well, Dhruv Jurel played really well for his 50, but once he got set in, once he got his eye in, again then he gave away his wicket. That was a blinder by Dhananjay De Silva at first slip, but I think Dhruv Jurel could have converted that one into big. This was the opportunity. Manav Sudhar was there.
What a catch!
What a catch! There's no doubt. No doubt.
No denying the fact that it was an excellent catch, reflex catch by Dhananjay De Silva. Sri Lanka fielding catching has been top notch. That catch by Nishan Fernando in forward short leg. Who was it?
Lairu Dara.
Lairu Dara. I think it has been top class. But I would still say that that declaration should have happened today. I still stick to my point that India should have declared. No point, a 440 or a 460 doesn't matter. But had you picked that 1 wicket in whatever over with the new ball, that would have could have put Sri Lanka in some sort of spot.
Yeah, as we spoke about this in our post-tea show as well, that at the fag end of the day, when a team has fielded for more than around 2 days, then to come out and bat on the last 30 overs is never easy. So that is the point that Devashish is trying to make here, that half an hour of play would have troubled Sri Lanka batters more, and India would have taken maybe 1 or 2 wickets. So that could have made a difference in this game. Obviously, still India are on top. They have already scored 450 plus on a wicket, which is now turning big time. Prabhat Jaisuriya on one delivery got a turn of more than 4 degrees. So it has started to spin a long way now.
And I think that the delivery by which he got Padikkal out, that was a ripper. And obviously, balls going straight. Means obviously, he played for the spin, but he was just totally bamboozled.
And Devashish, before that delivery, if you look at that over, There were a couple of deliveries that spun back sharply off the wicket into Padikkal, and that's why to counter that he used his speed, which he has done quite well throughout his innings. But that one, to Prabhat Jaisuriya's credit, he bowled the straighter one. The moment he saw that Devdutt Padikkal is coming out of his one straighter one, heading straight to the keeper, and then keeper Nikunj Dikwela doing the stuffing. But again, lovely bowling. Sri Lanka bowled extremely well, and this was missing on the first day. First day they looked flat. Second day, coming to second day, I think they reworked their plans. They were bowling a bit fuller, not flatter trajectory, trying to spin the ball. That's what I think was the key difference. Devashish, that they were trying to spin a ball more than yesterday.
Yeah, and Indians also batted well. Means obviously day one there was not very much turn on offer, but come day two, I think Sri Lankan spinners were on top. Sri Lankan spinners obviously ever since that irresponsible shot from Rishabh Pant, I think. If you look at the few of the dismissals, I think KL Rahul, very soft dismissal. His leg side, all he had to do is to flick, but that was a tremendous reflex catch. Then again, obviously that was a beauty of a delivery from Prabhat Jaisuriya to get rid of Devdutt Padikkal. Jadeja again from in front of the wicket. Dhruv Jurel, brilliant slip catch. So I think Sri Lanka might view the opportunity because they won 465 over, I think it's way too much against this Sri Lankan batting.
And on a wicket that is just turning a long way. And tomorrow, and Devashish, if you have had a closer look at the wicket, you can see the footprints on both sides. So the foot marks are already there, and now it will play into the hands of the Indian spinners. We have some questions, and India have enough to bowl out Sri Lanka twice. This pitch is good for spinners. Absolutely, Soumya. That's what we were talking about. The total is enough, and but I still believe that team management would want to see how much Prasidh Krishna and Kuldeep Yadav can add to this total when they come out to bat tomorrow. But let's talk about the short selection of some of the batters, starting with the captain Shubman Gill. Yesterday, because we are close to the end of India's innings. Shubman Gill playing that shot against Prabhat Jaisuriya, giving his wicket away. Better to say gifting his wicket away. Then earlier in the day, Rishabh Pant did the same. Then you had a KL Rahul, and at the end, when we thought that Manav Sutar has looked set 22-20 odd something, then he played that trying to clear the long one. Already he did that on couple of occasions. He did that successfully, but there was no need when the fielder is already placed that long one.
Yeah, I think just to up the ante, maybe. See, I won't blame Manav Sutar. Obviously, he was just trying to get going because there might be some instructions. But Shubman Gill, since you raised the point of Shubman Gill, I think this was just one of innings. Obviously, we cannot criticize. We cannot be obviously 236 for one when Shubman got out. Means obviously prior to that KL Rahul got retired out, but 236 for one. An Indian captain should have been to this, but on the hindsight, had that ball gone for a boundary, we would have said, "Alright, come on." So I think I won't totally blame Shubman Gill as much as I would blame Rishabh Pant, because Rishabh Pant, you just two contrast in the middle, Dhruv Jurel and Rishabh Pant. Both of them were in some sort of pressure. Although Rishabh Pant doesn't bother about pressure, but I think Dhruv Jurel showed more maturity, more patience, and it worked wonders. So it was a timely half century from Dhruv Jurel, not so much for Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant, I think the opportunity was there for him to score a big knock, but he faltered yet again.
And Dhruv Jurel, let's come to Dhruv Jurel and discuss a bit about him, because heading into this game, there was so much outside noise. He must be under immense pressure. Obviously, he hasn't scored a lot of runs in 10 odd tests that he has played, only one half century and one century to his name. That too not against big teams, big teams like Australia and South Africa. So there was a pressure on him, obviously, in the presence of Sarfaraz Khan, or he's there. But coming into when the situation was against your team, means team was in deep trouble, having lost 3 quick wickets, and then you have lost Ravindra Jadeja as well, the senior partner, early in the last session, to play that counter-attacking it looked good. Obviously he had settled in the second session, in the first session of the day, but the way he counter-attacked, that shows that why the team management has a lot of belief in Dhruv Jurel and in his abilities.
Yeah, absolutely, Vayu. I totally agree with you. And in fact, he has come for the post-test play press conferences. If I am not wrong, because I am seeing a few comments in our group, I think Dhruv Jurel, he was asked about pressure and how much of a pressure was he under. And prior to this innings, he said no, he was not under any sort of pressure.
Okay, so we are getting some press conference update. Dhruv Jurel said
I was under no pressure.
there was a plan to score briskly but sensibly. We weren't looking to go bonkers from ball one. I know the conditions here, having played for India, I was under no pressure. So Dhruv Jurel said he was under no pressure, but you know that there must be some sort of pressure, knowing that Sarfaraz Khan is there, who's a master player against spin in these conditions, is one of the better players of spin. He must be under pressure. The way he played, it looked a very mature innings. Obviously, the ball was great. It spun sharply and then took the leading edge. And as you said, it was a blinder of the catch, probably the best that we have seen in this test so far. But Dhruv Jurel has did enough, for this test. Given the conditions, he obviously you would want him to make a big score. But I think that little package was enough.
See, if you are to break out that 172 or 163, whatever the Indian score, out of that, Dhruv Jurel has scored 50. Straight away. Means obviously when a set pattern like Devdutt Padikkal or a KL Rahul or Rishabh Pant have not got going, you have a batter who is under pressure, who has not scored runs in Test cricket, except for the one half century, and then to be scoring a half century with the lower order, I think that will the team management will be extremely happy, especially someone like a Gautam Gambhir. Because remember, he has been persistent. Despite Sarfaraz Khan turning up, Dhruv Jurel has been persistent with. The coach himself has spent hours during this tour to Sri Lanka with Dhruv Jurel. He's trying to give him that confidence, and I think he has reposed the fate that was on him.
Some is saying that the pitch is good for spinners. India have enough total to bowl Sri Lanka.
Yeah, absolutely. I also see it's a matter of a ball turning and gripping and then taking an edge. So I think close catching will be once again very important. Because it's close, it's early days, but let's find out. Obviously, he has been seen blocking on close catches, but eventually it is up to the close catchers. See, catches win matches, it goes without saying. But Sri Lanka, the batters will be under pressure. Although they are playing at home, but I think 460, they will feel the pressure. Obviously, it's important to have a partnership, much like Indians.
We'll come to Sri Lanka's bowling, but what do you make of Ravindra Jadeja? Misread the delivery that went straight with the arm?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. But then with Jadeja, now that he has failed with the bat, you can expect that he will put up a performance, line-hearted performance with the ball.
And I think this is kind of wicket which Ravindra Jadeja would like. Because nowadays, if you see,
there is something on offer for the spinners.
Yes, definitely.
And Prabhat Jasuri has displayed his skill. And so I think the Indians will have noted that, and all three spinners, Jadeja, Kuldeep and Manoj Sukar, will fancy getting some touches from the wicket.
And the moment they came out to it, they must have seen those spots around the crease.
We don't know whether Gautam Gambhir visited the wicket or not after the day's play, but I am pretty sure. Means there will be planning, there will be talks around, and they will be going through the discussions, all the discussions. I think India definitely are slightly ahead in this test.
And now coming to the pitch, if you look at the way the wicket has played in the second day, it was a fast-moving day. Only 2 sessions, only 43 overs were bowled, but in those 43 overs, India lost 7 wickets. And this tells you that the wicket has started to play tricks, not just for the spinners, for the pacers also. The way Asita Fernando bowled with the new ball, there was enough seam movement of the wicket, So there is enough. Now we can say that the pitch is playing tricks and there is enough in the wicket for the bowlers.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Even for the Pacers, one
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
even for the Pacers, but early hour tomorrow with the new Kokabura ball. In fact, it is the change of the it is the new ball. You mentioned it in the lunch session that Sri Lanka immediately took the new ball and it did wonders for them. So I think India will fancy someone like a Siraj and Prasidh Krishna will fancy bowling with the new Kokabura ball, and then the spinners will come into play. So I think Shubman Gill will have to mix his planning whether to and the changes will be very crucial on this week.
Speaking of changes, Dhananjay De Silva was spot on with his bowling changes today. He looked proactive. Fielding was very good. He actually dropped the catch at first slip of Dhruv Jurel only. But overall, if you look at the way Dhananjay De Silva operated as a captain, because of the rotation of his bowlers, I think that is why Sri Lanka are in a position, because in this format, captaincy becomes important, especially when your team is down and out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But um, now the Vaibhav will be on the Sri Lankan batters. They are staring at a big score, 460. I am assuming that the declaration will happen tomorrow itself, 460. But I think Lahiru Udara, someone who has been under tremendous form, and Sean Fernando, we don't know because, uh, but that middle order, the Sri Lankan middle order, in the likes of Kamindu Mendes, Dhananjay De Silva, Niroshan Dikwela, Dinesh Chandimal, I think that the top Sumal Nusrat five-man middle order will be tested in these conditions against the Indian bowlers.
And now the coming to a bit about Sri Lanka's bowling, starting with Prabhat Jayasuriya. Heading into this game again, he was also under immense pressure, having not taken a lot of wickets in his last two outings at the same venue. But this match, I think he came better prepared today. Yesterday, obviously, he took the important wicket of Shubman Gill. But today he took three more important wickets and looked very attacking right from the start. He tried to attack the stumps a bit more, bowled a bit fuller, and trying to spin the ball rather than just surviving, just not trying to give away the boundaries. How do you assess Surya's performance today?
I think that is what is expected of us, the Prabhat Jayasuriya. He spearheads the spin attack, and see, Sri Lanka's success revolves around the spinner. It's not their fast bowlers in these conditions. Your spinners, that is the reason they faltered. 288 for 2 on day one. You are expected your spinners to perhaps give you a couple more wickets. That has not happened, and that has paid back the Sri Lankans. I think so, but nevertheless, it was a good turnaround, and I think it was a good comeback of sorts from the Sri Lankan spinners. Um, because India, as we have mentioned, that we were talking about 550, 600, but I think that 460, Sri Lanka will, I won't say will feel confident, but obviously they will feel that they have a game in hand. If they can bat well, this match, well, obviously strange things have happened in cricket. Obviously, it will be day 3. Once again, there is prediction of stars. We will have overs being rested. But come day 4 and day 5, I think the forecast will slot better. So I think we will still get a result in this match. But I would still fancy India to go on to win this match.
Let's discuss a bit about Kesharan Amanka, the debutant, because he was the one who triggered that small batting collapse at the start of the
Yes,
first
with the
session.
wickets from Rishabh Pant and
Exactly. See the wickets that he has taken. Rishabh Pant, KL Rahul, and then Ravindra Jadeja.
Yes.
All three seasoned players, all three important players of the Indian team. What did you like the most about the way he operated?
I think obviously yesterday he did not bowl at the right areas. The key fiber, once again I would like to I want to take your opinion as well. I think the pace at which you are bowling is also very crucial in this condition, especially when you are bowling in subcontinent. The that 4-5 kilometers per hour does make a difference. The the pace at which you bowl, and obviously the line and length is you have to continuously attack the stumps. Means obvious, and then wait for batsmen to make mistakes, and that has what worked wonders. Say the way Jadeja was mistakes. That was a clearly the ball was onto the stumps and he misjudged and got plumped. So I think once again the onus will be on the Indian spinners now. Now that the batsman has done the job for them, 460 on the board, they will have the cushion of attacking the batsman more. But once again, catching will be very crucial. Sri Lanka has been brilliant.
Sri Lanka has been brilliant, and that's why they are in a position. Yesterday it was India's day, but today the way Sri Lanka has fought back, it tells you that this is not going to be a one-sided series. But now since Devashish has to go and join the Bangla Live, it has been that day. It has been the day of Bangladesh cricket because they defeated Australia in Darwin. So I will let Devashish go and join the Bangla show. You also, we will continue the chat here, but yes, you can keep sending your questions and we will discuss what can India do with the ball on a wicket where there is a lot of help for the spinners and there is something for the pacers as well. Let's start with how Asita Fernando bowled with the new ball. Yesterday also he was getting a bit of reverse with the old ball, but especially the way he bowled today. First ball he squared up Devdutt Padikkal, and then even when Dhruv Jurel came out to bat, he was facing in the start 15-20 minutes of his innings. He he faced a lot of bowling from Asita Fernando, and Asita Fernando troubled him a lot at the start. So there is enough seam movement as well on offer if you bowl in the right areas as pacer. So I think it was a good effort from Asita Fernando's end. And then let's come to the way Nuwan Keshara he bowled. The way he bowled, I think, was the standout. I said in the start of the live as well, morning live, that although he didn't take a wicket yesterday, but he looked the most impressive spinner because he was getting the drift. He was making the use of the sea breeze that is coming from west to east. So that sea breeze factor, that is why he was getting a lot of drift. Yes, he went for a lot of runs, but he looked more threatening. He bowled more wicket-taking deliveries. Unfortunately, couldn't get a lot of wickets yesterday, but today it was his day, and I think that is where it is. It made a difference. That first first hour of play where one Keshara got the wicket of Rishabh Pant and KL Rahul, and then it was followed by Devdutt Padikkal's wicket. I think that those first 12 overs of the day really put India on the back foot, and from there India could never recover because they lost set batters. First KL Rahul and then Devdutt Padikkal. If Devdutt Padikkal or either of them would have been set, India would have easily surpassed 500 run mark by now. But in credit to Sri Lanka, the way they bowled, obviously questionable shot selection. Once again, Rishabh Pant shot selection will come under scanner. He will be asked questions. But this is how Rishabh Pant plays. I mean, he has been doing this. He has been doing this since very long time. He has been batting in the same way. Whenever team has tried to curb his natural instinct, it has not gone in team's favor. You remember that beat Border Gavaskar tour, Border Gavaskar series in Australia in 2024-2025. Till the Sydney game, Rishabh Pant was trying to be too defensive and he was not scoring enough runs. And then came Sydney, he played that fiery 50-run knock. So that is how Rishabh Pant is. But Rishabh Pant, I think time has come for Rishabh Pant to understand at what point he needs to do what, being the senior member of the team. Now he's no more a junior, now he's no more a newcomer in this team. So he needs to understand, and it was a premeditated step out. If you look at even before the ball was released, Rishabh Pant was out of his crease and couldn't get to the line of the ball. And that is why the mishit field placement was excellent, because it was not mid off or long off, it was deepish mid off. And the way Sonal Dinusha ran to gap the ball, I think Sri Lanka's fielding was standout. The fielders complement the spinners, the bowlers really well, and that is why Sri Lanka are in a position where they will eventually bowl out India if they choose not to declare. Tomorrow will again be first hour will again be very crucial from both teams' perspective. If India wants to take 20 wickets, if India wants to bowl out Sri Lanka twice, then they will have to make the most of the new ball, much like Sri Lanka did. They can take a cue from how Sri Lanka bowled with the second new ball. Obviously, with the first new ball, their pacers, even the spinners, were all over the place. But the way they made use of the second new ball, that's what India should do when they bowl tomorrow. Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, and then the spinners, I think Ravindra Jadeja with the hard seam, Pura new ball. I think Ravindra Jadeja will also fancy taking the new ball. So will Manav Suthar. I think finger spinners with the hard new ball, the Kookaburra ball, when the seam is upright, you get a lot of spin. And if you put the revs on the ball, and if you put it in the right areas, the ball is, if you land the ball in the right areas, much like the Sri Lankan spinners did in the first half, then you are going to reap rewards from this wicket, which is now helping the spinners, unlike yesterday. I think now it totally depends on the first hour how both teams play. But from India's perspective, they have posted a total which now is looking like a very big total, could be a match winning total as well, given the wicket played in the last 15 20, given the wicket, how the wicket played in the last two sessions. So it is all looking good for India. I think it was a good decision to bat first on this wicket. Now spin will come into more effect tomorrow. So will be the pacers, and maybe, just maybe, we can see variable bounce on the wicket. Already there have been a couple of instances yesterday as well, today as well, where the ball didn't reach the wicket keeper. Some balls dying, some balls bouncing extra. So this wicket will continue to deteriorate, and more the wicket will deteriorate, it will aid the spinners more, and that is where Indian spinners will come into play. Reverse swing, yes, reverse swing is there. Reverse swing, you see the way Asita Fernando bowled in his second spell yesterday, just 2-3 over spell, he got a bit of reverse, and that is what something Indian bowlers will also look to do. Mohammad Siraj is an excellent exponent of reverse swing. Prabhat Jaisuriya, Prasidh Krishna also gets a bit of reverse swing because of his pace and height. So I think it will be a very good day. Now totally depends on the way India starts and how early spinners will come into equation for Team India. That once again will be a thing to watch out for. What do you think this type of innings is making KL Rahul average? Not what it should be. The difference between good and great batters. See, obviously, it was a very soft dismissal, not a shot that you play as a set batter. Obviously, the shot was not on. He could the what he couldn't do was to ride the bounce. He was surprised. He was taken off guard by the extra bounce and spin of the wicket. That ball spun sharply into him. He wasn't expecting that amount of turn. Obviously, that's why he was caught off guard, and then forward short leg was there. Easy catch, soft dismissal. KL Rahul yesterday he toiled really hard. Today, one fall shot, and one fall shot is what it needs in Test cricket for your downfall. Ask a Rishabh Pant, ask a Shubman Gill. Not always you are going to get a second chance, and Sri Lanka's fielding from yesterday only has been very good. Apart from the only dropped catch that has come in the first slip of Dhananjay De Silva when he was unable to catch Dhruv Jurel. Apart from that, if you look at Sri Lanka's fielding effort, it has been top notch. Has complemented the bowlers really well. Keshara Numanda, Prabhat Jaisuriya, I think looked excellent. Used the crease really well. Created different angles. Varied his pace brilliantly. And because he varied his pace, that's why he was getting a lot of turn. He was getting a lot more punches than yesterday. But questionable shot selection from Manav Sudha, from Rishabh Pant, even Shubman Gill, if you say, then there is a problem. I think batting coach will have a word with his batters. I don't know what was the message sent when Rishabh Pant's or Ravindra Jadeja's wicket fell, but I think the message must have been to score quickly and freely, and India would be India would have hoped for 500, but now since it's more than likely that they will get bundled out for under 500, unless and until there is a surprise 10 wicket partnership between Prasidh Krishna and Kuldeep Yadav. Uh, means it remains to be seen. If you look at the way this team has trained, Prasidh Krishna has spent a lot of time at the crease, at the nets. Uh, Team management has made sure that batters like Kuldeep Yadav, Prasidh Krishna, Mohammad Siraj, these bowlers are also getting enough time at the nets, and that is why I don't think team will declare tomorrow. If they do, I'll be surprised because more runs that you can add to this total, it will be beneficial for you. Because closer you get to 500 target, 500 run mark, the better it will be because it will create some sort of psychological pressure on the Sri Lankan team. Obviously, this total is mammoth given the way wicket has played. But if you add more runs, if you get closer to 500, then that will be a different pressure of that will be a very different pressure on the Sri Lankan batting lineup, which hasn't looked convincing. If you look at the way they played in the Caribbean against West Indies, only apart from a few batters like Lahiru Dara, Somal Dinusha, not a lot of batters have scored runs in these conditions. So you have to keep in mind that this is not the batting lineup that can put pressure on India. It is the opposite that can happen. India can definitely take 20 wickets, and but for that they have to bowl in the right areas. It's still batting. If you apply yourself, you can definitely make most of the batting conditions. But again, if you're as a bowling unit, you have to land the ball in the right areas consistently on a consistent basis. If India are able to do that, then they will reap the rewards, much like how Sri Lanka did. And this is where it will become crucial for the likes of Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna to start off well. Even if you're not getting the wickets, if you're make sure that you are not leaking runs, you are not bowling those freebies, and that will be crucial. If you are able to, keep the scoring rate in check, if you are able to tighten, bowl some tight overs, both the pacers, then maybe Sri Lankan batters will try to take on the spin, and that's where they can lose their wickets. So I think it will be about the discipline. That it will be the test of discipline of the Indian bowlers, how disciplined they remain with their line and lengths tomorrow, and how good they use the breeze factor, because the breeze factor has been there at this venue. Keshara Nuantha used the breeze to a great effect as a spinner. He got the drift. I think somebody like Manav Sudhar can also do that on this wicket. So it will be important to see how they use the sea breeze to a good effect on a wicket which is assisting both pacers and spinners. Obviously, with pacers you get some lateral movement. With pacers you get some lateral movement on offer. Apologies, just there is a network issue here in Gaul, but yes, coming back to the point, so it will be important for the pacers as well to make most of the sea breeze. They will get some lateral movement on offer, and then the way they will bowl in the first hour will be very crucial. If they get a couple of wickets, even one wicket will help a lot. And then the spinners, with those rough patches in play, they will try to land the ball there, get some purchase out of the wicket. Today there was a lot of help. One of the deliveries of Prabhat Jaiswari actually turned 4 degrees. 4 degrees a lot of turn for a second day wicket, and that could entice our spinners, the Indian spinners, Kuldeep Yadav, Manav Sudhar, and Ravindra Jadeja. But tomorrow, more than anything, it will again be a weather watch. Uh, when the rain will come, how much the rain will have a say on day 3, how many overs will be bowled now, because now already a considerable amount of time has been lost today. Almost two sessions were lost. Yesterday, there was 1.5 hours of play that was lost due to rain. Tomorrow again there is a forecast of rain. How much overs will be lost, and that could be a deciding factor in the outcome of this game. How much overs India get to bowl tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, the prediction weather forecast is actually better than tomorrow, but tomorrow will be very crucial. How many overs India get to bowl means that could dictate where this game is heading. And India must be knowing the weather thing that today a lot of overs were lost. Tomorrow they will have to be at the top of their games, all the bowlers, in order to make the in order to put pressure on the Sri Lankan batters. And again, how much time they have, they also don't know, because weather is in nobody's hands. So it will be interesting how India approaches. Will they be attacking right from the start? How many slips they put? How many closing fielders they will put in the batters? I think tomorrow will be a very exciting day. Let's hope the weather gods, you know, the weather gods remain out of the equation as far as this game is concerned on day three. And India, what will be India's approach on the third day? How many overs they will bat before declaring? Will they declare earlier, or will they allow Prasidh and Kuldeep to bat? I think that will be again another interesting thing to look forward to. But yes, tomorrow is one thing is certain, that India will bowl, and how many overs they get to bowl is a question. But yes, that's it for today. Tomorrow once again we'll be back with our pre-day live, so don't forget to join us then in the morning. And before that, we'll definitely will give you a weather update, how the weather is, because tomorrow again there's a weather forecast. So yes, today was Sri Lanka's day, and let's see to what is in store for us, for both the teams tomorrow. And we'll be back tomorrow in the morning, so don't forget to join us then. And it's a bye from today from God. Thank you for watching.